Okay, so now the virtualization module is probably the next thing I want to talk about. This is designed to mostly be automated, but there's a couple of important functions here. So when I add a virtual machine to this, and this can be either a vCenter or in 9.1, it can also be HyperV, it's going to automatically, by default, start populating hosts, data stores, and guests that it learns from that system based on the settings of these switches up top here. So if I want to automatically add guests and hosts as they're discovered, I need to make sure those are on. They will default to on. The automatic guest polling and monitoring will automatically switch on polling and monitoring for any guests that it finds when it discovers them, if you've got that automatic add on. And you can filter them using the name filter. So why this is really important is I might want to put in the word test here, just because anytime somebody spins up a VM with the word test in it, I do not want to automatically start paging people when that goes down. If it's a test system, I don't really care about it that much. So if I put it in the filter list here, it can actually avoid adding it into OmniCenter for monitoring. So I might want to put the word test, or I might even want to put the word, test or VDI to make sure that, if I've got virtual desktop systems that are constantly popping up and down, I'm not getting alerts from OmniCenter based on that if I'm automatically populating that data. The other really important setting here is the force synchronization setting. And when this is on, anything that you change in your vCenter environment, like name, IP, any of those kind of settings, we're going to synchronize with that console, which means you will not be able to change it in OmniCenter. It's going to be forced to match whatever vCenter has. So if this is on, and you're making changes in vCenter, they should automatically be reflected in OmniCenter. But if it's off, you're going to have to manually keep those two in sync if you remove or change systems. The reason that is actually an option is because we've run into some customer environments where, they've made changes to their vCenter naming conventions, for example, that they did not want changed in OmniCenter because they're using it for different purposes. So we had to give them a way to decouple those things, and that's what that switch does. Once you've got those in OmniCenter, though, it's going to automatically start pulling guests, data stores, clusters. It's going to automatically figure out which guests are running on what hosts and like kind of give you some dynamic information about that, so you can start to see who's running where and what's running on what, and start to get a picture of how those things are mapped together.